to keep squeezing through, going through the process of breaking through that cocoon, coming out of that shell so he can fly. Otherwise, he'll die. He's not designed to stay in the cocoon, and he's not designed to just be a sweet caterpillar. Eventually, that's going to get old. He's going to get tired of being that. He's designed to fly, see the world. Not just like, listen, I know every inch of this tree. Yeah, I can show you these trees up and down, man. I can tell you all the spots, all the holes, all the places, crevices and cracks. No, we're designed to evolve. Now the adversary knows that. He knows that I can't stop you if you're free. So I need to keep you bound some type of way. So what he tries to do is he tries to hurt you along the way. So if I get you hurt, the temptation when people get hurt, they go into a shell. They create their own cocoon. So hopefully I can get you to do that. And then now you spend all your time trying to medicate yourself because of the effect of the pain. Well, you can spend all your time talking about, I can't believe they did that to me. You could talk about it over and over and over. The fact is, what's happened has happened. You got to keep moving. The only way it works out for your good is to keep moving. If you make a wrong turn on the freeway, so you're going the wrong way now. Do you just pull the car over to the side and just sit there for the rest of the year and be like, I can't believe I made that turn. How am I going to get there, man? I'm on the wrong exit. You got to keep moving, don't you? And actually, when you keep moving, you're actually on the wrong road, going the wrong way. And you're traveling further in the wrong way until you get to the next exit. And when you get to the next exit, you turn around, right? Travel back down the wrong road to get to the point where you made the wrong turn and start from there. But you got to keep moving, don't you? Even your GPS tells you to keep moving. Yeah, GPS don't. Lamar, seriously, how you going to make that wrong turn, man? It's so stupid, man. It doesn't even, it just says, keep proceeding to, you're still moving forward. The whole time you're moving forward. It may turn you around. When you get to the next corner, make a left. At the next intersection, make a left. At the next intersection, make a left. It just turned you around. But the whole time you was moving forward. It never said, man, back this thing up, man. What's wrong with you? It doesn't say, flip this around, man. You're so stupid. You know, I told you which way to go. Did you hear the beat? It doesn't do that, do it? It just keeps moving you forward. Right? And that's what you have to do. You have to keep moving forward. Because what happens is when you decide to stop, when you decide to, you allow yourself to get derailed, you know, either through intoxication, distraction, the scriptures talks about reveling, partying. You know, when you start to get derailed, now at that point, you're not moving, so you're not elevating. You're not even maturing. So the maturity is as you're evolving with God into the truth. So when you get distracted, at that point, you stop growing. You stop maturing. Now, the interesting thing about that, you know, like when you get hurt, some of us have been hurt. You know, like I use you because you're sitting right up here up front, so you can take it, right? All right, so you got hurt, right? You've been through some stuff, you got hurt. So you decided what? To leave off, what do they say? Leave the ranch, go off the farm, whatever, right? All right, so while you were in that process, you were, let's say you were numb, clouded. Okay, but during that process, you're not growing. But you have a wealth of knowledge, right? So then let's say you come back to reality, you know, back to life, back to reality. I think that's a club song. I think I got that from the club. Maybe in there somewhere, you know, I spent a lot of time in club, right? All right, so, well, I ain't heard that one in a long time, huh? Is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, but I don't know from the movie. Yeah. You all right? You good? You all right? Yeah. I could tell. Where you was working her neck, that sounded like the movie, you know. She was like, you see that? She was like, wow, dude. Yeah. All right, so anyway, All right, stay here. All right, so while you're out there and you get on so you've elevated to a point before you got hoodwinked, bamboozled, hurt, or whatever. All right, so then you go away, then you come back to reality. Right? All right, so when you come back, you feel you where you were. It's like being in a coma. You wake up and you feel like let's say if you were a week away from what God had for you. Just a week away. So you go into a coma for 7 years. You come out of the coma 7 years and you still feel like you're a week away. But no, you're not. You're 7 years and a week away. but you don't, you feel like you're a week away. You know, like you're like, so now you tripping on everybody else. Like, I don't know why y'all tripping. You know, I mean, by next week, I should have had this. You know, it's been a week. Not knowing the effect of being numb. Not knowing the effect of the delay. And while you were away, time was still going by. There was let's say while you was away, somebody invented a cell phone. No, that was better yet, Bluetooth. So you walking down the street, you're like, man, these people, man, crazy, man, talking to themselves. No, they're not talking to us, they're talking to the Bluetooth. Technology has advanced, but you're in a cloud. Right? Things have changed and evolved with you in the cloud. You know, the people in church, you faithful in church, you learn all the jargon and all the insights and all the revelations and the different types of things they teach, the Greek, the Hebrew, and then you go into a coma and you come out and you still reciting the stuff, not knowing it's an expiration date on that stuff. The Bible is a progressive revelation. Our life is a progressive revelation. So you'll be talking about stuff and people will be like, what are you talking about? And that's not the language for the generation that you're in. But you don't realize it because you've been in a coma. See, that's the adversary's job. I want to get you so blind you can't see, and then now you're not operating as free as he wants you to be. Right? So again, that's the I spent all the time on one scripture. But and then let's go to 1 Corinthians 13. Because I was just talking to a pastor friend of mine, but what I'm recognizing is, you know, the scripture says now faith, Hebrews 11:1. Now faith. Not next week, not next year. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. God is doing something now, but you could be so clouded you don't realize he's doing something now. You still, I was talking to a good friend of mine, and I was telling him I had a conversation with somebody, and they was like, yeah, you know, God's still working on me. But this person at their particular age, I'm just going to use a number. I'll just say 50, right? So they're not 50, but I'm going to just say around 50. And so I say, and they were like, yeah, God's still working on me. I said, so some people left the room. And I said, bruh, do me a favor. Never use that statement again. I said, at this point in your life, God's worked on you already. like now it's time for you to do stuff. Like you milking the same line you were using maybe before you went in that coma, but do you realize it's time? While you was in a coma, you've crossed into time. The scripture says to everything there's a season, there's a time for every purpose. Not a feeling for every purpose. You know how like we say I'm gonna do stuff when I feel like I'm ready? No. You're ready in your time. Because if you're not ready in your time, you may miss the window of everything that's galvanizing itself to be there to assist you in what you're doing. The provision, the resources, the help, you know, the support, everything is in that particular window, that niche, that nick of time. But if you're outside of that nick of time because you feel like you're not ready, you're going to do it when you're comfortable, you're going to miss a window now. And even if you decide to do it, it's going to be a lot harder because there's a time for every purpose. To everything, there's a season. So you may not feel like washing the car. You know, you may not feel like cleaning the house up today. different things like that. You may not feel like doing those things. You may decide to take a day off work today. So to everything there's a season, but purpose has timing to it. So when you feel purpose pulling, you got to jump on that. You got to answer that call now. That's a now faith move. That's not the scripture says the set time has come. It's a set time. It's not when you feel like it. Because God has something that he's purposed and he's planned, and there's a window for it. So it's like God sending a signal to everybody to be someplace at a certain time, and you decide, I don't feel like going today. Well, you're going to miss everything that's going to make it easier and fulfilling for you. So the people that's supposed to appreciate you, they're at the appointment. The people that's supposed to provide for you, the people that has your resources, they're at the appointment. Where are you? Right, so we got to make sure we're locking in. 1 Corinthians 13, another scripture that we use a lot here. It says, for now we see through a glass darkly. So it's kind of like we're not seeing a clear picture. It says, but then face to face. So that means when we're looking through a glass darkly, we're in that caterpillar stage. We're not really in truth stage. But it says, then face to face. Face to face is I've evolved into who I am, and I see clearly who I am. It says now, what's the rest of the scripture says? It says, but then face to face. Now I know in part. At this stage, I know in part. But then I shall know even as I am known. The Amplified says by God. The Amplified says now I'm looking as in a riddle or enigma. Like it's I'm trying to figure it out. It says, but when I embrace reality, when I walk into the reality, final truth is final reality. When I walk into reality, then I'm going to see clearly as God has designed me. Because God God wastes no time. Everything he gave you, everything he put in you, everything he put around you was intentional. Now it's our job to maximize that. See, so when we get pulled off the narrow way, Matthew 7:13, we're getting pulled off of the path that puts us in a position where we're powerful and we're not bound. We're free. That's the goal. The goal is to live, whom the Son sets free is free indeed. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty to live in the free zone, not the bound zone, right? All right, so the scripture says this, because our significance we find our significance and our true worth through God. Like beholding yourself in the mirror and you're changed into his image day by day. 2 Corinthians 3:18. Beholding yourself as in a mirror, you're changed into his image from glory to glory. So you're exchanging a level of glory. You're exchanging like a flicker of a light for brilliant light. From glory to glory, right? From glory to glory. So from faith to faith. So I'm elevating myself to another place. It changed into his image, his design. They were talking to Jesus, trying to challenge him. So they kept sending like Pharisees and everybody to break them down, ask them different questions. So Jesus was sweet. He'll answer a question, but then he'll also challenge your purpose. So they came up to him and they says, so who should we give our taxes to Caesar? Jesus is like, so since y'all want to play games? All right, so look, we'll play games. We'll play the purpose and truth game. He says, so tell you what, get the penny. He says, whose image is on the penny? He says, Caesar's. He says, okay, good. Render to Caesar was Caesar's, render to God was God. Then he walked away. The reason why that challenged them is, what did he say? Whose image is on the penny? Caesar's. Okay, good. If Caesar's image is on the penny, then render to Caesar was his. He says, render to God was God's. What he was saying. So wherever God's image is imprinted, render to God was God's. So if you're going to make sure you give Caesar his taxes, make sure you give God his vessel for purpose. Since we're so busy making sure we are compliant to the world, be compliant to God. If we're adamant, we got to make sure, we got to make sure we we'll give taxes before we give tithe.